What's up guys, this video is in response to more information about CBD oil. So I thought I'd try to clear up a few things, see if I can help with any of your questions. So CBD oil is basically an oil that uses cannabinoids derived from marijuana. It doesn't have any THC, which is the addictive psychoactive ingredient that you get with smoking weed. So it doesn't have any of that in there, so you can't get addicted to it. Things to look out for when you're buying CBD oil. Basically, you just want to make sure that it's 100% pure CBD, as when you look at the ingredients of some cheaper brands, you'll see binding agents and thinning agents like glycerin or cellulose binded to it. That's basically the manufacturer's way of diluting the product, and it's just cost effective for them to do. It doesn't help you though, so make sure it's 100% pure CBD oil. Its greatest asset is that it lowers inflammation levels. So inflammation markers like blood glucose, you can basically get a blood test to see where you are in those and see if you're in an optimum level or just above or below or outrageously high. Things that affect your inflammation are obviously diet and sleep, exercise, blue light technology, and just various stress levels in the body. So if you are someone that's like putting copious amounts of stress through your body through work and exercise and all the normal stuff we go through, as well as alcohol and drugs, then you may have trouble sort of sleeping or switching off or kind of just reaching an optimum level of activity. So firstly, we'll talk about the performance side of things, and CBD has been shown to be really effective with high level athletes, especially that do contact sports. So fighters, boxers, rugby players, because they're like obviously hitting each other over and over again, the body goes into a fight or flight response. And if you speak to any of these people whilst they're performing, they don't necessarily feel the pain because it's all just been completely dumbed down by adrenaline. But afterwards, they get home and their body just basically recoils, and you know, the muscular spasms that they get are super intense. So for people like that, if you play rugby, if you play American football, or if you're a boxer, then a high level CBD oil is going to be super beneficial if you're playing those sports. For everyone else, for just regular people that maybe aren't, smashing someone 5 days a week on the rugby pitch, then you might have just more basic symptoms. You might have anxiety, you might have sleep issues, you might have just energy level problems. I'd say CBD oil can help you sleep better if you take it at the right time. Personally, I've noticed I take it 2 hours before bed, and I take 10 to 20 milligrams. You can take up to 50, I believe, in a day. There are people that have taken more, but I think they're experimenting rather than, basically prescribing it. But manufacturers say between 10 and 20 milligrams per dose, and I take that 2 hours before bed. So you can just hold it under the tongue for 60 seconds and then swallow it and then get a glass of water. It's been shown to lower levels of anxiety and depression in people, because once you sleep better, and by that you're getting deeper levels of REM, rapid eye movement, you're getting longer light sleep, and you're getting longer deep sleep. So once you get all these different stages of sleep squared away, you wake up kind of feeling brand new. That has a knock-on effect with everything else you do. So it's not that I would say that CBD oil can cure your anxiety, but it can kind of just lower your sort of aggravated response to things because you've slept better, if that makes sense. I believe it's claims, or they're still studying things, but it's basically been shown to have positive results in the fight against some pretty nasty diseases: heart disease, cancer, respiratory diseases, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and autoimmune disease. The majority of those diseases are created by cytokine storms, where basically your body releases a bunch of cytokines or molecules that are super pro-inflammatory that your body can't deal with because it's an uncontrolled response. If it's uncontrolled, then your body almost doesn't know what to do with it. It doesn't know if the invader is kind of, friendly or if it's foe. So it kind of just attacks everything. And that's the thing with autoimmune, is that if it's uncontrolled, then your body just attacks everything. Normally, when all your systems are operating well, your body can tell the difference. But if you're under high level stress, it basically is just trying to say, don't die, so I just fight everything. And you just dump more noradrenaline and adrenaline, cortisol into the problem, which is basically, it puts more pressure on your kidneys and liver, and basically requires more energy from you. So it kind of just starts burning the candle at both ends. So, would I take CBD oil if I was anxious? Yes. Would I give it to my mother? Yes. Would I recommend it for a regular gym bunny 5 days a week? If you've got like 60 quid to spend every sort of 6 weeks, 8 weeks, sure, you can try it. It's not going to like completely, change your world. But if you're operating at a high level and you're looking for all these like micro gains, then sure, it can definitely have an effect. I've found it sort of helps recovery by kind of diluting the sensation of like DOMS. So big running sessions or heavy weight sessions, it takes the edge off. I still don't think that it sort of, clears it out completely. That will be a lot to do with your sort of training, your sets and reps. But it can definitely speed up improvement, speed up recovery for sure. Brands I recommend. I mean, I've only used 2 brands. One is 4-5 and the other is Pure Spectrum. So I've taken them both orally. I haven't used their balms for kind of long enough. And their balms tend to have more hemp oil and canola oil and things like menthol, which just have a nice sensation on the skin. And they are also said to improve muscle recovery, but it's not necessarily CBD oil penetrating the skin that's reducing the amount of inflammation. So it's 2 different things really. So if you have the option, I would basically go with the 0 THC one from 4-5 brand. It's about 60-70 quid, but it's the best one I've used. Dosage is basically 2,000 milligrams. And like I said, you take 10 to 20 milligrams of it, like per day, a couple of hours before bed. Any other thing about CBD oil that you should know? First time I've ever done one of these videos, it's a bit nerve-wracking. In the morning when you wake up, you might feel a bit drowsy, a bit like sluggish to begin with. That can be your own sleep cycle, or just kind of your body getting used to it. Sometimes if you're a morning person, then you'll be super susceptible to that feeling of like, oh, something's in my way. It's a bit of like brain fog almost. Normally that's sorted out with caffeine, or just kind of like your dosage. So you might want to decrease the dosage or increase the dosage. Play around with it. Like I say, you can't get addicted to it, and you should be good to go. If you've got any more questions, ping them my way. I'll see if I can help. I feel like I'm obligated to say that like I'm obviously not a doctor, and this is all through my own personal experience, but I'm super curious about basically all these marginal gains that you can create when you're trying to perform to your best. So I read a lot about nootropics and CBD oils and lots of different things to try and gain an edge and just basically try to stay as healthy and young feeling as I possibly can. So I read a lot of books on it and just sort of gather information from different sources, and just come to my own conclusions once I've tested the product. Hope this was helpful. Any questions, let me know. Cheers.